You know, as cat lovers, we see our pets in all their glorious shapes and sizes. But let's be honest, how many of us have looked at our cat curled up on the couch and had that little thought,
It is one of the biggest questions we ask ourselves. And that extra bit of fluff might seem harmless, but it could actually be a sign of a real health concern. So in this explainer, we're going to get into what feline obesity really is, how you can spot it, and, this is the most important part, the simple, hopeful steps you can take to help your cat get from fluffy back to fit.
So if you're worried about your cat's weight, I want you to know you are absolutely not alone. Look at this number, 61%. That's how many cats in the US are officially classified as overweight or obese. It's actually the most common preventable disease that we see in our feline patients today.
Okay, so here's the thing we really need to understand. We're not just talking about appearances here. Medically speaking, obesity is considered a disease. It's this chronic, low-grade inflammatory state caused by too much body fat, and it has very real consequences for a cat's health, their happiness, and yes, even how long we get to have them with us.
As veterinarians, we break it down into two main categories. A cat is considered overweight when they're about 10 to 19% heavier than their ideal body weight. But once they hit that 20% mark or more, they cross the line into the obese category. And these aren't just labels, they're clinical markers of a serious, growing health risk.
So you might be wondering, how does this even happen? Well, it's almost never just one single thing. Usually it's a combination of factors that kind of creates the perfect storm for weight gain.
Okay, so let's look at some of the big ones. Neutering, for instance, is so important for our pets, but it does change their metabolism. They can actually increase their appetite while decreasing their energy needs. Now combine that with a safe, cozy indoor life that just doesn't offer as many chances to run and climb, and the risk really starts to go up. We see this peak when cats are in their middle-aged years, say around 6 to 8. But honestly, maybe the single biggest factor is how we feed them. Leaving a full bowl of dry food out all day, what we call free feeding, just makes it way too easy for them to take in more calories than they burn.
And here's why it's such a big deal. That extra weight isn't just sitting there. It's actually biologically active. Those fat cells are constantly releasing inflammatory hormones, which puts the entire body under a state of chronic stress and opens the door to some very serious health problems. And the stakes here are really, really high. An obese cat is 3 times more likely to develop diabetes. All that extra weight puts a tremendous amount of strain on their joints, which leads to painful arthritis. It also significantly increases their risk for kidney problems, urinary tract disease, and even some types of cancer. And there's a really scary, life-threatening liver condition called hepatic lipidosis that can happen if an overweight cat suddenly stops eating. All of it just adds up to a poorer quality of life and, unfortunately, a shorter one.
But here's the good news. You don't have to just guess about your cat's condition. There is a super simple, hands-on check you can do right at home, right now, to get a much better idea of where your cat really stands.
All right, it involves 3 easy checks. First up is the rib check. I want you to gently run your hands along your cat's sides. Now, use your own hand as a guide. Their ribs should feel like the back of your hand. You can feel the bones, but there's a nice thin layer of covering. If they feel sharp, like your knuckles, your cat might be too thin. But if you have to press to find them and it feels more like the fleshy palm of your hand, that's a pretty good sign there's too much fat coverage. Next, take a look at your cat from the side. That's the profile check. You want to see a little bit of a tummy tuck. And finally, the overhead check. Look down at your cat from above. You should be able to see a bit of an hourglass figure, a nice, visible waistline.
Now, even with these tools, it can be tough to be objective. We call this the perception gap. Studies show that for cats that vets diagnose as overweight, about 72% of owners also saw that there was an issue. But that means about 28% of owners thought their clinically overweight cat was a perfectly normal weight. It happens. We see them with loving eyes, and that can sometimes make it hard to spot a problem, which is exactly why a vet's opinion is so important. And please, think of your vet as your coach, your partner in this. A conversation about your cat's weight isn't about judgment at all. It's about working together to make a plan for a longer, healthier, happier life for your friend. And just so you know, the vast majority of owners, about 2/3, say they don't feel embarrassed by this talk at all.
So at the clinic, your vet will do an official weigh-in and a more detailed body condition score, or BCS. From there, you'll work together to set a healthy target weight and, most importantly, map out the safest and most effective way to get there.
So, what does that path actually look like? Well, it's not about crash diets or anything drastic. It's a really manageable, step-by-step process that's all about making small, sustainable changes.
A good plan is a team effort. It always starts with your vet, just to make sure there aren't any other medical issues going on. Step 2 is often switching to a special therapeutic diet. And this is so important. You can't just feed less of their regular food, because that can cause dangerous nutrient deficiencies. These special diets are lower in calories, but still packed with all the vitamins and protein they need. Then it's all about precision, measuring every single meal. After that, we add in some daily activity. And finally, you monitor their progress with monthly weigh-ins, aiming for a very slow, safe, and steady weight loss of about 1% of their body weight per week. Slow and steady wins the race here.
So how can you put this into practice? Well, you can make mealtime more exciting with puzzle feeders. Schedule 2 dedicated 15-minute play sessions every day. You can even tap into their inner hunter by hiding small bits of their food around the house for them to find. And here's a big one. The next time your cat comes up to you begging, try to redefine what a treat is. Instead of giving them food, give them what they really want, your attention. A good petting session, some brushing, or a fun game can work wonders.
And this right here, this is the goal. This is what it's all about. It's not just about adding more years to their life, it's about adding more life to their years. A cat at a healthy weight is more energetic, more comfortable, and just plain happier.
I know this can feel like a lot to take in, but remember, every big journey starts with one small step. So think about it. What's one little change you can make today? Maybe it's just swapping one treat for a cuddle, or adding 5 more minutes of playtime with their favorite toy. Every little bit truly makes a difference.
Remember, this information is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional veterinary advice. If you have any concerns about your pet's health, please consult with your certified veterinarian. They are your best resource for ensuring your companion lives a long, happy, and healthy life.